I think it's Tiff time, but I'm wondering if they give it to her when, let's say, somebody like a Charlotte Flair or somebody like that comes back. Is Tiffany the heel? Because right now she's a heel. So, without any other discussion on my part, I'm going to say I think Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, they are pushing, but I don't think she's going to win it.
Guys, I want to talk about WWE's premium live event taking place this weekend, Money in the Bank. That's going to take place in Toronto. I believe it starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time on Peacock, if you're watching it through the Peacock network. But we want to go through these matches and get the opinions of Bill and Teddy and find out their thoughts and what they think may happen in these matches. The first one being the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Now, Bill, I'm not really sure where this one will go. This is one that I'm not sure about because Cody, Randy, and Kevin aren't normally a team, and there's so many things that can go wrong there, and the Bloodline appears to be a team.
Well,
what do you see happening?
Yeah, and this, by the way, is in my weekly newsletter, but I'm going to talk about it here anyway. And don't forget, you can get the newsletter by going to Sportskeeda /newsletters.
Wow.
Anyway,
what a cheap plug.
So what I think here is going to happen is that Cody, Randy Orton, and KO are going to win the match. Now, the match is going to be Solo, Tonga, and Tia, and maybe Jacob Fatu might be in there instead of one of the Haku sons. If he's not, or even if he is, what I predict is, again, Cody and his team are going to win, but Jacob Fatu is going to go maniacally crazy after that match and injure them and leave them lying. That's what I think is going to happen.
Teddy, what do you think might happen in this?
Well, I kind of disagree with Bill. I think the winners will be Cody, Randy, and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I think that's what's going to happen. To me, I really don't see Jacob Fatu coming right now at the beginning here. I know he's made a big deal when he first come in. That could happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're not right, Bill, but I just don't see. I think it's a little bit too quick. I think that they probably won't even involve him in that. I think there's maybe some way the Bloodline screws up some kind of way, and Randy and Cody and Kevin, they get the win there. But I'm kind of like you. This stuff is really unpredictable. So that's just my opinion.
That's when I think Jacob Fatu is going to run in when Cody, KO, and Randy Orton win. I think Jacob Fatu is going to come in the ring and go crazy. And I think we're going to see Solo. Yeah, that's what I think.
I could see that. See that.
An attack after the match is actually over.
After the win.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.
Now, here's the match that I'm really not sure about. Damian Priest, your current world heavyweight champion, up against Seth Rollins. With Seth Rollins in there, anything could happen, but I think it's too early to take the belt off Damian. Bill, your thoughts?
Well, remember, there's stipulations here, okay? If Seth Rollins wins, then Damian Priest loses the belt and he can no longer be part of the Judgment Day. If Damian Priest wins the match, Seth Rollins can never get a title shot as long as Damian has the belt. So here's what I think is going to happen. This is very creative storyline, what they're doing. I think Damian Priest is going to lose with the interference of Finn Balor, who he's having a lot of problems with at this point. He's told Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw not to interfere, leave him alone. I think that's going to cost him the belt. And I think what's going to happen is Damian Priest is going to become a fan favorite with Rhea Ripley coming to be with him after she finds out about this whole thing with Dominic and Liv Morgan going on, and is Finn Balor involved in this whole thing? So I think we're going to see Rhea and Damian Priest in their own little group there, breaking away from the Judgment Day, and I think the fans are going to go crazy.
Teddy, what do you think? We got Damian Priest against Seth Rollins. Damian Priest with the belt. Do you think it's too early to take that belt off Damian?
No, I don't.
No?
No, because I think what people, really want, and as I watched it last night, I looked at Seth Rollins' promo and everything, and I think that's exactly what the people want. They want him to win that belt back. They're not concerned about whether it's too early or whether it's too late. But I understand where you're coming from, Mac. That's just the way business was done back in the day. But, like I said, things have changed now. It's not that way anymore. So, we're always going to be surprised. We never know what's going to happen. But Bill had a great analysis of how he thought this thing might play out, and I kind of feel that way too.
All right, here we go. The next match, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. And, of course, Sami Zayn is your current Intercontinental Champion. And this gives Braun Breaker a chance to put a belt around his waist and start showing some dominancy. Teddy, what do you think?
Well, I think Braun Breaker is going to win. I think he's going to take that belt off Sami Zayn. And I think what may really happen after he does win, I think he'll just beat him to a pulp. You know what I mean? Get the belt, plus get a lot of heat.
Bill, what do you think? Do you think the Braun Breaker is going to take that championship?
Result. I think I've got a different result. One of the bad things about Braun Breaker is his aggressiveness and his temper. And I think during this match, when he fails to pin Sami Zayn a bunch of times, he's going to go crazy with spears and wind up getting himself disqualified. And we'll see a rematch maybe at SummerSlam. I think he's going to go, like his Uncle Scott Steiner and just lose it.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. And, of course, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view or premium live event wouldn't be the actual name of the show if you didn't have the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And that match will include Jey Uso versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade versus Chad Gable versus LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. Man, there's some big names in there, and and I can see a reason for about every one of them to win for one reason or another. Bill, what do you think?
The fans are going to be split between cheering for Yeet Man, Jey Uso, and L.A. Knight. I don't think the rest of the group has a chance, except this is Drew McIntyre's chance to come back and finish his story or start the story. On his three-way match on Monday Night Raw, he took quite a beating. I was very surprised to see him working from underneath. But I think in the end result, it's going to be Drew McIntyre because he's so ticked off at this point that, my second choice would be LA Knight at this point.
Teddy, what do you think?
I'd have to go along with Bill. I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre because he's so involved in a lot of stuff right now. And everything he touches, it betrays him. So, you know what I mean? So he's at that point now that he doesn't care. Whatever it takes to win, he's going to win. And you know what I mean? I think he's real angry. So I believe that this is Drew's opportunity, and I think he's going to take advantage of it.
All right, here we go. Women's Money in the Bank match. That is Chelsea Green versus Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton versus Zoe Stark. I can tell you that based on the response the fans had with Chelsea Green, I kind of think the fans kind of want to see Chelsea win this thing. Bill, what do you think?
I think they want, by the way, I want to mention, because we haven't brought this up, that all the Money in the Bank matches, the ones for the Money in the Bank, the two men's and the women's, are contested on a ladder with the Money in the Bank briefcases up above. I agree with you somewhat with Chelsea Green, but I cannot see them not bringing Tiffany Stratton to the next level. She looks great. She performs great. She's got that whole acrobatic background. She knows how to cut promos. I think it's Tiff time, but I'm wondering if they give it to her when, let's say, somebody like a Charlotte Flair or somebody like that comes back. You know, is Tiffany the heel? Because right now she's a heel. So, without any other discussion on my part, I'm going to say I think Tiffany Stratton. Chelsea Green, they are pushing, but I don't think she's going to win it.
Yeah, Teddy, and again, like Bill said, we have to remember that this person's going to be carrying that briefcase. And so who is the one that needs to be carrying that briefcase into the future for WWE, Teddy?
Well, my thing is this. This is the Women's Battle Royal, right?
It's the Money in the Bank ladder match. Yep.
Money in the Bank ladder match. Well, what I'd like to know is why is not Jade or Bianca not involved in that?
They didn't qualify. They didn't qualify in their matches. They lost their qualifying matches, which they fought on TV every week.
That's why these names surprise me somewhat, because some of these names are not names I would normally expect to see in a Money in the Bank ladder match in the women's division. And which is why when I said Chelsea Green when we started this, only because the fans kind of, for whatever reason, they just fell in love with Chelsea lately. And now, you know, there's a push for it. I just don't know. Like you said, Bill, I don't think Chelsea's the one to carry that briefcase into the future for WWE. It needs to be somebody else. And Teddy, I just don't know anybody else on there.
But that group, Tiffany Stratton, is the outstanding superstar to be, in my opinion.
Well, with those girls that are involved in this and the names that you call, you know, we could be surprised, but I'd like to see Naomi win it.
That would be a surprise if she did. And she has come back after being gone for a while, and she's still in her first year back, I believe. So let's talk about some of the other.
Mac, she seems to have lost a step to me. I don't know what it is. The last few weeks, she doesn't seem to be the Naomi that I'm used to seeing. She seems to be a little bit different. Teddy, have you seen that at all?
No, not really. I had, you know, I mean, you know, a lot of things, you know, go on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So, you know, that could be part of it right there. I could sit back and I could look at a guy and I could almost tell you that he was going to be beat because he walked out not happy. You know, he just gave the whole thing away when he first walked out. He ain't
that boo-boo face.
Yeah.
No, I'm wondering if she's got some sort of an injury or something, because her ring work the last few weeks don't seem as sharp as they had been.
Well,
it could be anything, like Teddy said. I would imagine it could just be anything in the background, and hopefully whatever it is will get settled and she'll get right back on to where she needs to be.
She's a great lady.